Okay, there you go.
Hey, how are ya? How's your weekend?
Good. Good, good, good. Is that better? You like that setup?
What, this setup? What the
Yeah.
it's perfect.
Okay, good, good. How was your weekend?
Oh, it's been okay.
I love your colors, your outfit. That is so beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I
You
tried.
say it was okay? Did you go anywhere?
Did I go anywhere? I went to the farmers market on Saturday, and the
Mhm.
farmers market I go to, it has a park in the back. So I was out there with the kids for like pretty
Yay.
much the whole day.
Okay, and right, you in Miami, so the weather is nice.
It's trying to get a little cold, but yeah, the weather
Girl, you don't know nothing about no cold while we down here in this damn snowstorm.
it's trying to get a little cold. I look, we had on long sleeves.
Okay. Oh my God. That's so funny. I always make fun. I got a friend in Florida. She in Tampa.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I got another friend in Atlanta. And,
Mhm.
of course, they always so quick,
Mhm.
like to be like, oh, I'm loving this 60-degree weather,
Uh-huh.
in December.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, I told my one friend, I got on her post, like, nobody asked you. Like, did anybody ask you what the temperature was? Not one
us,
person. Right.
us Floridians, we always want to see some snow until we get some snow. Till we finally go somewhere and see some snow. We like, oh no, I need to go back to the beach.
Honey, even I've been born and raised in it, and my bones ain't good enough for it. I'm like, like I don't know what. Like,
I went to school in Tallahassee, and Tallahassee could get to 30 to the 30s, but oh, I used to be so aggravated going to class every day. Like, why is it this cold? Is this
yeah, that's a
real
bit.
life? Like,
That's
how
a
is it
bit
this
much.
cold? And it could get colder than this. That don't make no sense.
In Tallahassee,
Tallahassee get cold, girl.
that's Virginia.
No, in Florida.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Wow, I didn't think
It's
anywhere.
it's North Florida, like in the Panhandle. It's like right there
Okay,
by Alabama, South
okay.
Georgia.
I guess that might make a little sense. And I guess 30 degrees, no matter where you are, could be
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We just be talking about like, honey, when they be telling us like the degrees is 1 degrees and it feel like it's negative 16.
Oh yeah, feels like temperature get on my nerve. Even when it's hot, it be like, oh, it's 80 degrees. Feels like 100. Like, oh my God, why is this even
Feel with the heat
real?
much better than the cold. I've always been that way. I prefer
Hmm.
to, if I had to choose which weather, it's always gonna be hot.
Yeah.
I mean, give me a
It'll always be hot
food,
as long as we in the air
water.
conditioning. If we in if we
Exactly.
got the AC to go into, I love the sun, sunbathe and all that. As long as when I'm ready to go, get in the AC, I can go get in
I
the
can
AC.
feel that. I can feel that.
Yeah,
But I
but
still feel
what?
like say get some water on or something. It's the way to get around it. I just like, but the cold, I be feeling like, oh my God, like once you get to shivering, like it's just
Yeah,
your
yeah.
whole body out of
Need
control.
some iron. Need to take your iron pill.
All kind of stuff. Okay, girl. So look, I'm gonna let you lead us right on in. You
Okay.
already know that the first scene of Real Housewives of Potomac. Listen, it almost just sent me. I could have unplugged my TV and threw it
Mhm.
right over the balcony. Like I am
Right
done
now,
with this.
with Mia looking for her babies. You tell me what you would have did. Tell me your reaction if your soon to be ex husband went to the nanny, snatched the kids, then dropped them off less than 24 hours later. But you out on a trip. Would you have dropped everything, even if you would have known the kids were safe after
Let's
you found
say
out?
this. Let's say
Okay.
let's be very realistic, right? She's in
Mhm.
Panama.
Yeah.
That's a 12-hour
That's
flight.
like Karen was saying. Oh, she drove 3 hours. There's no way you could drive from
Yeah,
Panama
right.
to
Yeah, that's
go
the
get the
12
kids.
hour flight. So
Mhm.
so reasonably to say you would drop everything and go
Yeah.
and you don't know that there's any immediate, you know what I'm
That.
saying,
Yeah.
Jane?
Uh huh.
Then I don't know if that's necessarily realistic. I think
Yeah.
that's something that we all would say and
Uh huh.
immediately jump
Uh huh.
to, because it sounds like the
It
best
sounds
thing to
good. It
do.
sounds like yeah.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, but like, because I've been on a 9-hour flight somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so that's what I'm saying. Like, that's just not necessarily reasonable. Number one, you know.
Yeah.
However, if you did think that there, like, in the way that it was being presented, which that's the problem that Mia has.
Yeah.
You presented it as if there was some type of danger going on, right? Like, so in that case, you are right. You probably should drop everything and get, which is
because the man got mental health problems. He just woke up one day and go and snatch your kids. Yeah,
I'm still confused about that, though. I'm still because even she said something in the middle of the episode, because that's what I was like. I'm saying, going just to tip back. By the time they're on the bus and she's talking to Ink, you ready to go and
I think that's her coping mechanism, because you know she had that crazy childhood. She was in foster care, she was stripper, all this and all that. So I feel like she just tried to cover, like, put on a mask and be overly, you know, frisky and zesty and like just try to put on a show. But I think she really was nervous, because she looked like she was about to have a nervous breakdown when Jacqueline was
talking
talking
like
to her.
That was fake.
You feel like she was faking it?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I hate that. Like, you know, I hate to say that, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, but did you do a booty call after, you know, after that? Like, I'm like, I'm a mom too, you know, so I try to, like, at least, like I say, be reasonable, right, about it. And the biggest thing with Mia is that her actions don't match her words.
Yeah.
I think the thing that she's putting on, look, y'all ain't got enough followers to attack me about it, but I think the thing that she putting on is the type of mom that she is.
Yeah.
That's, you know what I mean? Like, and I think that using this mental health issue with Gordon, because going back to what Karen said about the 3 hours, she said, well, how am I gonna, like, she said, you got full custody. She's like, well, what am I gonna do? Tell the judge he's unfit? Well, it seemed to me, if you running around telling everybody he's bipolar, that's documented somewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm, so if that's the case, then that feels like that's enough for you, for whatever. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it do feel like something is missing. And of course, after this weekend, we know that her and Gordon at least are playing well together. I don't think we really know if they back together or not. She's insinuating that they are. But you know what I mean? But that's, again, like, that's the whole point that the girls are telling her in the first place. It's just, these things don't add up. A mom, like, and that's why I say I know that for myself. It reminded me of something personal, something that happened to me while I was on the trip. And I trusted somebody to keep my kids. And they had my kids, she went to the casino. She left my kids in the car while she was in the casino. And somehow, now this is over 10 years ago. So this is not even where Wi-Fi is all, I was on a cruise. Wi-Fi is all over. I can't even remember how I got a message or something, because security went and got my kids, you know, now. And so everything ended up being fine, you know. However, like, when I got back, no lies, and I'm not even exaggerating, I never took another trip until I could take my kids with me.
Yeah.
Because what that said to me was that I really couldn't try. And I can't, and my anxiety, the way it's set up, I can't be that far away. And you know what I'm saying? There's something going on, and I know I can't get to my kid.
I feel
you know, but now I'm not saying everybody's supposed to do that same thing. But what I am saying is, if I tell you that my children come before everything, I'm going to show you that too.
Yeah.
You're going to know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's where that's why I said I was ready to just turn it off and throw this whole TV away.
Yeah, 100%. I think Mia, she definitely got some growing to do. She definitely got some soul searching, some figuring out to do.
And I mean, and I get it. She has a whole lot going on, but I don't think Jacqueline kind of doing that thing, pacifying her. Because even with
Yeah.
the babysitter thing, like none of that made sense to me. And
Uh-huh.
I get
Uh-huh.
it. I kind of understand um if Gordon is like going off the scale,
Mm-hmm.
and messing with her, but it's
Yeah.
still just, I don't know, it just feels so
Or,
placated. You got
or
all of these nannies, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
what, how many is it? Like,
That's what I was saying. I'm like, why is she your former nanny if you trust her so much and you okay with her being there? But I think I think she's in a different state. So he crossed state lines to drop the kids
okay.
off, and then he crossed it back again to go on vacation. I don't
Mm,
know.
yeah,
That's
well, we're
I'm
gonna see.
happy I ain't in that situation nowhere near that because that's a mess. That's enough to drive you
It
crazy.
definitely is, and that's what I'm like. I don't want to be so harsh on her, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell the
Mhm.
truth.
Yeah,
Like you say,
definitely.
she's
100%.
human, and I'm not calling her a bad mother. Like that's not something
Hmm.
that I would not do unless
Yeah.
it would have to be something blatantly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That everybody could agree on.
Hmm.
We don't know. Like we do our best, and
Yeah.
she just kind of seen her priorities, like we were
Priorities.
in the first place. It's her priorities. They don't seem to be
Hmm.
in line. And it does seem like if these things are going on with you and Gordon, and you want people to take that serious, then it
Hmm.
seems like you should be taking it a little more serious too.
Yeah.
And she not.
Yeah. She could
Mm-hmm.
do better. She definitely could do better.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So what happened next? They finally found the kids,
Right.
and
Thank God.
Jacqueline, like kind of let that little tea out to Ashley on the sprinter about Mia had a little rough morning. What else happened? Oh, we had a little fun scene to break up that tension of the whole panic losing Isaiah moment.
Right. I
Um,
mean, yeah.
we had Stacey visit Kiana, and they was reminiscing about how they was roommates, and she trying to get back, like how they had their old trip in
Mm-hmm.
Carolina.
That was cute.
Um, and then on the sprinter, Gizelle brings up about Karen have a little list for Ray to get back in her
Right.
good graces. Child, talk about this. It's one thing to talk about elderly abuse. Now we talk about elderly whoopee. Like you talk about that's a little bit too much, Karen. And
And
then they
I
talk.
wait a minute, and I was trying to figure out because I'm thinking to myself, am I too old to be trying to do
And I thought the first thing you would do was stop going like the whole way. They stopped doing the foreplay. I'm like the first. That's different strokes for different folks, child. Literally.
You know what I really think? And let me put this out here. What I
Uh
really think is, and it's been from the beginning, Karen, that's the reason why she had those issues about if she cheating on Ray.
huh.
At the age that Ray is, I
Mhm.
think it would be unreasonable for
Mhm.
us to assume that he's still able to have his
Yeah.
regular,
Yeah.
on his own,
Uh huh.
that I don't think those things are happening. Now that
Mhm.
don't mean he might, I guess maybe taking
He
something
still
that
got the
helps.
desire, probably.
Yeah, right. So I think she plays up a lot,
Mhm.
like to insinuate things that we probably just don't even want to know unless you're going to actually be honest about it, because
Uh
maybe
huh.
there are people in a situation like Mia and Gordon, for instance. Like if you are, like, I'm 44, if I
Mhm.
meet somebody and marry somebody 20 years older than me,
Mhm.
it would be reasonable for you to kind of think and
Yeah.
assume that maybe whatever intimacy we have is not
Mhm.
as great as what, what I'm saying, is
Yeah.
what
You
you
have
would think
when
if
you're
I
saying
married
it.
somebody closer to my
Yeah.
age.
Mhm.
And so I'm saying that to say that could be something that could be talked about in a way of being honest
Yeah.
about how y'all deal with,
Uh huh.
which is, but Gordon, going back to Gordon, he was very upfront in a previous season in that conversation with Mia
Mhm.
about it. Like that's the reason why he probably let her have her little fun and
That.
stuff, knowing that he couldn't do. And I don't think that's uncommon.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially with
um,
food of a certain tax bracket.
Exactly. But you know what? Not even the tax bracket. I'm saying in general, like if you see just a regular old couple and it's an age difference like that, I don't think it's unreasonable to assume that there might be, some type of okayness with certain things that go on.
Especially, in this day and age, you're seeing it more open. I'm sure they was doing it back in the day too, but we're like claiming it, owning it more now too.
Exactly. So I think that, for Karen, but Karen stuck her foot in her mouth just like I thought she was.
What else would be?
Every week after that video come out, I feel like it's gonna be another thing and another thing.
Yeah.
Because she got mad about them asking if she was gonna drink. Right.
Oh yeah.
Jacqueline say, Jacqueline say, well, we're not
not gonna be driving.
Yeah. She's like, but the sentence that she said, because that's why Karen needs to. Well, it's too late now. Like, whatever.
She was like, I'm not sobriety. I'm not. Who said I'm so? Who said I'm? Yeah.
Yeah.
Girl, you need sober, girl. Put the pills down and everything.
I mean, like, considering what we just saw.
But wait, do we care about Kiana and Greg? And they're moving in together. It's been 90 days, and everybody feeling like
mention that to you.
Kiana, it's giving boring, but she's very nice to look at. I feel like she got a little bit of spark in her. Maybe she just need to warm up because she have like little bitty, teeny. If you blink, you gonna miss it.
The only spark she has is when that scar come up.
She had a little spunk at the end of the episode where she was like, that's her business. If she don't have the money, I'm suing civilly. If she don't got the money,
she talk about that scar.
When she talk about that scar,
I'm like, that's the only time I see anything from
interesting
is when it's in reference to the scar and that incident. And now this is a question: is she taking this too far?
No, girl, sue that girl. First of all, that was embarrassing. The video leaked everywhere before the season even came up. So even if the producers were like, okay, this is too far, we're gonna edit it down. It had already leaked before the season came out. True. It was embarrassing. That was like the big moment of the season. And she got a big old scar. She said she had reconstruction, which I don't know.
That's kind of what I mean. Is this even like much? Because you listen, Karen ran her whole car into a tree and she had none of this going on. You wasn't, and not to. I'm not trying to downplay the actual altercation, but it's just kind of like, dang, girl, like you sound like you was in a 4-car collision, and that's not what we saw. So I'm trying to figure out where's all this reconstructiveness coming from.
But then she hit her in the head with a bottle. What did she pick up? Or did somebody put the bottle
glass? Like real talk. Okay. It was a glass.
I didn't watch last season.
Oh, you not? No, not at all.
I just saw the clips.
Okay, I did watch it, and you know how it go down with the fights anyway. Like a lot of times,
they don't really show a lot of
like you can see stuff, but it's so much commotion that you really kind of don't know what's going on.
Yeah, you don't know what you're seeing.
But I like what I remember after is she had like something happened where she had blood. So I'm just gonna assume that it was glass. I don't think it was an actual bottle. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so that's that's where it's at. Like, because even when she showed the scar, I don't know where, like, what is being reconstructed. Like, unless that's your own mental about this scar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and so I don't even know, like, I didn't even know you could have reconstructive surgery for scars and stuff. Like, I mean, outside, like, I've heard that, I guess, for burns and stuff, like doing skin grafts where you take skin from one place and put it on another. But I don't know. It feels like she is embellishing it so far as whatever she's doing personally on Deborah's end. Like, if you're gonna sue her about it, okay, cool. But as far as on this show go, it seemed like she still is looking for somebody, maybe Ashley, um I don't know, to do some type of acknowledgement about it for her.
Mhm.
But and she went off on Ashley though, right? When Ashley
Yeah,
asked her about it.
yeah,
So I don't know. Like it feels like she's milking it. That's the
yeah.
better word.
And she probably getting that cue from the producers too. Like, this is your storyline. You coming back. You suing. You
Yeah, no,
moving with
we don't
Craig.
want to see it. And so after, I'll say that for myself. After
Uh,
this episode, I did have that very thought about where does she fit in, and like I feel like I'm not getting anything from her,
uh-huh.
especially from her being on some of last season too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, I'm more interested in Stacey.
yeah. Of
Mhm.
course, Stacey is that girl, child.
Yeah, she is right. That's what I'm like. I'm more interested in Stacey when it's
Mhm,
all said and done. And
mhm.
kind of like I'm not really feeling her.
We could just see her maybe for the reunions. She could just make a guest appearance. We could see her a nice little outfit. She could give us a look.
I think it's some stars that when they go away, like you forget
You
about
miss them
them.
and you
Right?
appreciate them. Yeah, they like we
No,
like.
I'm saying you don't. You just forget about them.
Okay, okay.
She
Well,
one of
maybe we'll
them.
forget about her. Maybe we'll forget about her. Maybe she had her run. All
I
things are
think that she
possible.
might be on that side for me,
Okay,
like
okay.
I forgot you even came on, girl. Cause she's not giving us nothing.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I'm holding out hope for her, but it's
That's
gonna be.
okay. You gonna hold out hope for the both of
Yeah,
us.
I'm the hope girl, child.
Yeah, and
I'm
I'm a
give everybody the benefit of the doubt.
and I'm a I'm gonna keep
And you gonna
pumping
go
you
ahead and
up
see
to
what
be
it is.
that way.
Uh-huh.
But I'm
Uh-huh.
gonna make my decision like, no, I'm done with you. Like,
Next.
okay, next caller. Right. Go to the next one. What we talking about next, girl? Mm.
Okay, so we come back from the commercial break, and Jacqueline compares Panama to Atlanta, Georgia. Girl, you trying so hard to get this dang on cherry blossom, trying to like read in every chapter and verse of Housewives 101, trying to be so zany and quirky. Just let it come out naturally. It's you. We could tell you trying too hard. It's like, don't do that. You making a fool of
That's the
yourself.
biggest fall. She's been doing
Mhm.
even the speaking up for Mia.
Mhm.
Like
But
all
Mia
the
already cussed her behind out. Like, girl, you don't never have my back. You remember like 2, 3 episodes ago? Like,
true, true,
stay over
true.
there with them. So now she like falling back in line. Like, okay, let me have her back. She my
I
only
mean,
ally.
but it's just I don't know. It's given.
Hmm.
It's not giving what she wanted to give.
Yeah,
It's coming
especially when it comes to answering questions about who you done slept with. You don't remember? Don't say that. Don't. You being so coy, like, I don't remember that. Oh.
I
Mm.
think that's her and Mia's stitch though.
Yeah.
Like about being the fun, young, wild
Yeah.
girls,
Yeah.
and I think that works for a certain group of people. I
Yeah, they
think,
getting a little bit old now. They
yeah,
them
right,
kids.
yeah. Or maybe if you were in a certain group of people,
Okay.
but
A
like I
different.
feel like you should know your audience. So let's say Stacey sitting at the table. Stacey ain't, you know what I'm saying, like about to have no type of conversation like
Yeah.
that. You know what I
Uh-huh.
mean? It
Uh-huh.
almost feels inappropriate at
Yeah.
times because it's the audience, that
Mhm.
you're around. It's like,
Mhm.
and you already know these girls about to, have something
Have something
snickering to
to say.
say. Right,
Yeah.
you go off talking about some. Well, I think her and Ink did have some foreplay together. All of this is weird.
Yeah, that's weird. Like, you talk about this to love your life and all this, and you want to be with this man. Ink is permanent. So why are you sharing this man with your foster sister?
Not only your foster sister, but let me go ahead. But the girl who you blame for your own essay, also, like let See, that's why people can't fool with me.
Yeah, it's that's a little bit too heavy now. Too much.
But
That's not entertainment TV fun, reality TV entertainment. No, that's a little bit.
right. That's why, like, listen. So I don't. Yeah.
Mhm.
Moving to the next one. Jacqueline ain't gonna stay around as long as they have her. She gonna be like a
Mhm.
Marlo.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So then they go to, the little local shops around, and they
Right.
go to a little souvenir, a little hat shop, and they really loving Wendy this season. Everybody giving her gifts and da 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 da. But do you think that it was strategic that Karen and Gizelle got Wendy that hat and her daughter a hat? Like, where did the daughter come from? You trying to like well, that don't make sense. And then Wendy didn't even like the gift. They said, Wendy, you think you'll ever wear a hat in the confessional? And she was like, no. So it's like you doing
No,
all that for the
I
what?
think maybe it was just a nice gesture.
Maybe. Okay. Okay.
Maybe, that's the way I looked at it. Like,
Mhm.
and maybe too, because like she said, well, she been doing good on the trip, whatever. I
Mhm.
think that was kind of what egged it on.
Uh-huh.
Maybe it's also a way. Now, this is the part that could be strategic.
Mhm.
Ever since up until this point, it's always this colorism issue.
Yeah.
And it always what bothered me about that conversation when they would have it is that they wouldn't be upfront about the optics and the reason why a person would feel how they did. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, so whether it was true or not, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, they always kind of double down on the fact that, oh no, like, I
Yeah.
would never do that, as opposed to, like I say, just looking at the optics. Because for a little bit of time, the optics would say that that was it. You
The
guys,
cake. Yeah.
yeah, and that's coming from a melanin, girl
Yeah.
myself. Like,
Mhm.
and the only reason why another person wouldn't understand per se, same thing as other stuff, is because it probably is never gonna happen to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
So you
Giselle
don't
definitely know
know
better. If her
what
daddy
it
was
looks like.
civil rights and all that, like you know better, girl.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, because of the fact that they wouldn't acknowledge the
Yeah,
optics
that
around.
is actually possible. They just like, what now? Duh.
Exactly.
Like you
Right.
just black, you just dark, and you just know, like, girl, stop. You
So
know.
I think maybe, like I say, the calculating part, it
Mhm.
might be that part, just making sure that that's not something she have to feel again.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. Seemed to me like Robin is I don't know why Robin would have been the one that kept that stuff up between them, but it seems without her being gone, I mean, with her being gone, that
Mhm.
I don't know, like whatever issue that they seem to had always had all this other time, they don't have it.
Or they done scared Giselle straight, child.
Or that. Yeah, that could be it too. Or she probably just need her partner in crime. Because maybe that's
Mhm.
what happens too with Robin, is that the two of them together, and what she did then kind of become mean girls without
Yeah.
knowing it. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because you can say whatever you want to say, and your homegirl got your back. Like you just like
Exactly.
gotta be, cautious.
Yeah. But Wendy
So they
had
was at the
a season. We
So
happy
they
for
was at the hat shop, and they was talking, and then Ashley and Mia got into it, child, and then Ashley felt like she had to storm off and go report back to Gizelle about what done happened. So yeah, how you feeling about that scene?
Well, Ashley was right. I never
Mhm.
thought that in all of these seasons that Ashley would say something and I'd be like, I was thinking that same thing.
Uh
Like,
huh.
but she was correct about that.
Mhm. It's hard to show up for her, and she not answering to these questions about, okay, you talk about this lady child, these ladies' children. Why would me even bring that up? Like that old tea. And then it was like you also brought up some old tea about Karen, that 3-year old tea about the phone call, the butt down and all that
Mhm,
stuff. So it's like
mhm.
it seemed like a little bit of desperation. Like she seemed Mia seemed like desperate, like, and I don't know.
Well, I mean, everything about Mia appears to be desperate.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it,
Yeah.
that's what we're saying. Like the exploitation of this storyline, like the just all of it, and not to say like that. Like she gets defensive because she's trying to throw digs at the other girls about the authenticity. Like, well, I'm showing my real life. Like basically. Because to say that to somebody would indicate that they're not. And so, which we know with Karen, like, and when you think about certain things, like Karen seems to have been that way her whole life, and it's not just for TV. She probably lived her life that way. You know what I mean? But it, like I say, with Mia, she falls back on that thing, but it's like you're not realizing that like it don't look good. You know what I mean? Like, and there's a way to be authentic and still keep stuff to yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like some stuff we don't need to know. And that's me speaking from as a viewer. Some stuff is a little bit of a lot of information to have given somebody.
Yeah.
And then get mad at them for judging it.
Especially in the shower with your sister and your boyfriend.
Multiple times, clearly. Because, right? Because this is something y'all just do, right?
Like a little potluck. You bring the soap and the towels. I got the water.
Exactly. Okay. Like, so, yeah. So I thought Ashley was 100%. But here's what I like. Mia seemed to blow Ashley off a little bit also. So I think that Mia probably doesn't respect Ashley.
Yeah.
I think Mia respects Gizelle and Karen.
Yeah.
But where Ashley is concerned, she doesn't really care what Ashley thinks.
She's not even gonna satisfy her with like a back and forth.
Exactly.
She actually walked. Oh Lord, we got a baby up. Hold on.
Okay. We're gonna take a break. Take a break. Okay, let me get into some comments really quick. Yes, preach. Okay, what you say? Hi, Anjali. Did I say that right? I'm gonna try to spell. If you can sound it out for me so I can say it right, I would love that. Okay, you say you wouldn't stay. I was just getting through some comments. Say right, the booty call. Ready to do a booty call after the trip? Yeah, yeah. And especially if your mind is, because even if once I knew my kids were cool, that's why I gave my example about my own personal trip. Like even though everything was okay, they end up being fine, but I couldn't wait to get my eyes on them. You know what I'm saying? And then I told, that was the first thing I said to him soon we got together. I was like, "Mommy never going anywhere again until y'all can go with me. Like we all going."
Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't. Like whatever time frame that was, the next trip we took, I was driving them to Florida to go to Universal Studios. Like we going together. That is stressful. So I felt for her, but I did feel like she was putting on.
Yeah.
I did. I was going back.
So then they go to the restaurant after the hat shops. And then we have Wendy getting more gifts from the other set of girls. They got her a BONG. I don't know if you could say that word.
Right.
Some paraphernalia.
Right.
That goes along with her.
Did we find out that because Happy Eddie opened his dispensary?
Yeah, I think that's what I was gonna say. I think that's why they gifted that to her, because that's a part of her family's brand, because that's her husband, Happy Eddie and all that. But she ain't say she ain't like it. She was just like, oh, that's what it is. Okay.
Right. So, okay.
They play that imitation game. And that was a little fun moment after all the fighting back and forth. But tell me why they left that restaurant, change in the bathroom, and then go to another restaurant to drink some more. That didn't make no sense. And then it was dark by the time they got there. It was like, why you left one restaurant and go to another restaurant?
Just being extra. That's all. And I know about that firsthand, because when you're watching these housewives and you get your chance to like, okay, I'll tell you about my first trip to Spain.
Okay.
So I'm thinking like, I'm ready, right? I didn't
Mm-hmm.
overpack because I'm ready to change my clothes, 3 times or what have you. And girl, it was a waste. It really was. Um, so like, even though I kind of overpacked on my second international trip, but I did better than the first time. I can admit that. But yeah, it's just all in the name of being extra for no reason at all. Like you said, there was no purpose in changing.
Yeah,
It
that was
wasn't like
weird.
you was going to a different restaurant that had a different attire,
Set up.
like
Yeah,
dress
yeah.
code or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all to be extra.
But you notice when Wendy, the waiter, asked still or sparkling water, and then she said both, and then she asked for a round of tequila. Why did
When,
Wendy think it was a toy? Oh Lord! And then
yeah,
it was like it was
right.
small to be one of those.
I hope right. Maybe she thought it was like the
Vibrator.
right. She said they were all okay. That makes sense. That okay. I didn't pay attention to that because that's happened to me. We had to go. Well, our luggage was lost also, but we was out in Greece. We walking and we hot. I'm like, we gotta stop at one of these stores. We can buy
But
something.
you change clothes, but you still be sweating. Well, it'll help a little bit to change clothes, but you still be hot and sweating
Well,
if you
yeah,
just
you gonna
change clothes.
get a little HO bath.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
In the 2-stall bathroom.
right in the two-stall bathroom. Too much. They was doing the most. I still
Yeah.
say they was doing the most. Let's move on. Go ahead.
And then we noticeably see that Karen got a whole little teacup cup, and everybody else had their shot glass, and they did their little salute, their little toast. But Jacqueline started talking about her WAP, and then they talk about that was at the
At
previous
the
restaurant.
first one,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was the first restaurant. They was talking about ink, but we already kind of spoke about that, and that was strange. And the best friend.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of feel like maybe Jacqueline was being obtuse because she didn't want to divulge that Mia and Ink shared Ink best friend. Cause if it was Ink best friend who she had the experience with, that means Mia would have had to have experience Ink best friend too, right?
Well,
Child,
at
I don't
this
know.
point, is anything any better than not? You know what I mean? Like, at this name of the stage in the game, is there anything that you would need to hold back to keep you from like anything else? It's like you just said so much now, just let it all out.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, it can't be no worse than what you've already shared. You
Admitted
know
to.
what I mean? Yeah. Because
Mhm.
what we know for sure is that y'all have slept with the same man.
Yeah.
You told us that. So now the only thing to do is to tell us who it was.
At the end of the episode, we had Gizelle. We had Gizelle and Kiana talk about the whole suing thing, but we got into that. We kind of talked about Jeff.
Right, yeah. Right.
So
I
you
just have to forgive me because sometimes I'm like going up to because that's all Kiana
me
got.
too.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
all she got.
Mm-hmm.
Even her and the man, when they talking, they don't be talking about nothing.
He just so calm and just like,
Right. And I don't think he want to be on the show. So I think
but
that's kind of something too.
I think you got to give those men who don't want to be on the show, I think you still got to give them a little something for showing up to the filming. Because if he didn't want to be on the show, he could be like, no, I ain't going. We seen some men like that. I ain't
Absolutely.
going out, and I don't want you in it. You got to buy. Get off the boat. We ain't going to be together. So at least he's showing up to some of the tapings and stuff like that. He ain't giving us much of nothing.
Right. Here's the thing about that when it comes to reality TV. What I kind of be disliking about some of the people when they get to talking about the editing and things like, well, it was edited this way. What he's caught on to or know for a fact is you can't edit what I don't give you. You know what I mean? Like, so you're right. Like, if it's just this, then there ain't nothing to edit out of that. You know what I mean? Like,
that's smart now.
there's no way to make it something else, you know. Like, so because that's what I'm like, reality stars, you don't get it. And the funniest sentence I've ever heard is the one of the girls say, like, well, if I get a chance to get back on TV, I'm gonna go like where I can control, like have more control. And it's like, if it's not your own show that you are producing, you're not going to control your narrative. Like, so the answer is you either want to be on TV or you don't. Like, but you don't get to, like, those are the things you don't have that control over, you know?
Yeah.
And that's,
but that's why I think Dr. Heavily having her YouTube show, I think that's why she really wanted to do it, because she knows she can't control the narrative and things get cut out. So she used her YouTube show to, like, y'all, this part happened. That's why I got up and I was doing this, because this happened, but they took it out. They were trying to protect them. And
you think that's what she used that channel for?
She love to talk. That lady.
She do love to talk. Now, but that's the reason why she ain't had no business coming for anybody that was bloggers before. See, I'm side out somebody. Yeah, Dr. Heavily. Yeah, she talked about Anila.
When Anila she said Anila.
She came for Anila hard. Then she like going back to Toya. At the time, Toya wasn't I guess the whole monetization wasn't as what it is now. Because Toya probably, like how she brought those checks before, she monetizes stuff now. But you know, she had a huge opinion about Toya not working. And so, like, that's where my side eye with Dr. Heavenly comes from. Like, I like Dr. Heavenly. I like that she speak her mind, and I like to talk too. Look what she say. Yes, Dr. Heavenly loves to talk. Like, right, we love it. We do love Dr. Heavenly talking, but I need, like, see, now you doing the same thing you kind of cut everybody else for. And I'm just looking for her to kind of own up to that. Even though it's only a matter of time before she's not going to be practicing dental. Like, whether she pass it off to her son or not, whatever she does with that, that's her business. But it's only a matter of time before she's giving that up, and she's going to be straight here doing all of this. I mean, for real. You know,
I think she's trying to set it up for her and Alora to have a little podcast situation while Alora.
It do sound like that. Because she said Laura coming back to Atlanta. I guess she's taking her classes online. And so she want to do some other stuff. Which, I mean, and nothing wrong with that. Like, I didn't like Contessa trying to come for her about talking about she was trying to buy her daughter, you know, with the beauty supply. Like, cut it out. She doing what I think any parent would do. Like you say, just set your child up for success. We're not gonna hate on that.
Yeah. So now we already getting into Married to Medicine. So let's talk about season 11, episode 6. We returned to the episode with that same fight. It was a lot of repeat. Like, I guess since we had that holiday hiatus, they wanted to, like, refresh it in our minds. So we back to the fight. Contessa and Sweet Tea, they talk about Heavily behavior. She ain't got no relationship with her mama.
Right.
Her mama dead. Sister, she ain't got no relationship with a sister. And she can't keep a friend, child. So they was talking about that. Contessa said her plan for the trip was ruined. Girl, what was the plan? When was you gonna start activating the plan? Let me drop this baby off. Hold on.
Just say drop the baby off. Yes, we're gonna get into Dr. Contessa, honey, because what I got to say about Dr. Contessa is she should have stayed wherever she was at this whole season. I think I said that last week too, but I think I'm gonna say that every time she get on the screen, because she ain't bringing nothing new. And it seemed to me like her sole purpose in coming back on this season was to get back to Heavenly and to get at her for those things she said and that she didn't like. And I don't know. We all moved past it because we all thought the same thing secretly. Only one that don't think so is Sweet Tea, and that's because she need a friend too. What y'all thinking about Dr. Contessa coming back this season? Jump in the comments. Let us know before we get into breaking down this episode. You see how she lied to her husband about Contessa is like that though. I feel like Contessa, that's I don't know. And her husband, Scott is like that too. That's what like that was the problem that last season that they was on there. It was like she wanted to, and so Dr. Heavenly was 1,000% right on that. She was attacking Dr. Heavenly for the stuff that was being shown on the TV. And now Dr. Heavenly did seem to say some stuff that they clearly talked about privately, but I mean, we was watching Dr. Scott lie to her about having a therapist and not having one, and she crying to him about how she feel, like neglected and little stuff like that. Like, girl, but that's what they do. They kind of remind me, not maybe they're not as bad, and I'm gonna switch this up. Drew and Ralph reminds me of Contessa and Scott. And that's because Contessa and Scott was on longer than Drew and Ralph. But it's like they the same type of couple, like they had that same type of thing going on. Yeah, exactly. We all saw it. Exactly. That's what and so and like we say, I'll agree with Dr. Heavenly in those moments where she's like, hey, contestant, like you taking it out on me, like, but you really to be mad at your husband, like he put you in that position. I just said it. But what I can agree when it comes to Contessa, just because we are human, we don't want our friends talking about our husbands. You know what I mean? Like, you my friend, you shouldn't be out in public talking crap about my husband with anybody, So I get that part. But again, with Contessa returning, she has a hair up her butt, and it is to go straight for the heavenly. Like, that is her mission, and it's gonna fail because I don't think the people like Contessa the way she wants them to. And I think people forget that good, bad, or indifferent, people treat you better when they like you. They'll side up with what you want them to do. You know what I mean? That's why Dr. Heavenly can say your mama to every single person out there, and they keep letting her show up and still will tell you they all feel the same way about it when she say it. That's because they like that lady more than they like her. And so whether they think it's wrong or not, but Contessa is trying to convince them, like, well, why won't you say anything? Because they don't like it.
Yeah, and they think that Scott is abusive too. They know the inside tea too. They know that man ain't got all his marbles.
Neither one of them.
Excuse me, guys, for the distraction. I don't know. The worst be happening in the moment. I couldn't get rid of the little baby. I had to come back with her.
Look at her hand making an appearance. Hey, little baby. Okay, let's move on. So what do you think about Contessa just in general in that moment? Because like you said, we don't know what her plan is. She's not a full-time member this season. So even for her to be a part of planning the trip, it just like she seems to be forcing her way in something. And I don't know.
I think Contessa missed the spotlight because she was also on Below Deck. Like she was made some guest appearances on some other shows.
Okay.
So I think Contessa missed the spotlight. Huh?
I didn't see her on Below Deck.
I think if she was on some boat show on Bravo.
You must be Below Deck. I mean, you must be right.
Yeah. I don't watch Below Deck, so I'm not sure
five of them. They all are Below Deck, but they all something
different cities like Mediterranean.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact title of the show, but I think she missed the spotlight, and because she missed the spotlight, she's back and she's trying to go for the top head gun, but it's like that's old tea, and we already saw Scott act the donkey, so it's like Contessa. Maybe if you wanted to like just do a little burst and then you and Heavily talk about it and then resolve it, and then you come back and you stake your claim and you have your story, you have your personality, and you taking over the show, but you trying to just take down the head dog, and it's not sticking. It's not sticking.
It's not. Yeah, it's not at all. I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
She say, Dr. Heavenly is my girl. Everybody knows your mama is her go-to comeback. I don't know why it still bothers them at this point. I mean, listen, everybody does know that. But I will tell you what, I couldn't be on the show with Dr. Heavenly and she said
Yeah.
to me,
Mm-hmm.
or she
But
say,
in Miami, it's not your mama. It's your mammy. Now, your mammy
either
used to
one.
drive me crazy when I was little. Don't say your mammy. Now, that's what could piss me off.
I
Your
feel
mama,
like
I
it's
feel like
either
that's
one.
what. Uh-huh.
I feel like it's either one. Now,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like so I was born in Chicago
Uh-huh.
and Gary. So that's my
Mm-hmm.
background. Now, like I said, your mama is your mama, like
Yeah.
in all languages, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think that maybe like siblings, you might hear them say, I don't know, like your mom, but I don't like the way that Dr. Heavenly says it, there is no it means the same. Your mammy is probably waiting, like, is that like that extra little kick, you know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? Like to
Uh-huh.
do the mammy instead of
Uh-huh.
your mama,
Uh-huh.
but either one is fighting words for me. Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
but that's why I was saying, like, even what she mentioned, like everybody knows that's her go-to.
Yeah.
And the thing is, because they like her, they
They
let her get away with it.
But I feel like it loses its power because we know she ain't got nothing else to say. That's why she's saying that. So I understand you lost your mama and you lost your mom in a traumatic way, and you had your mastectomy because you had that trait and da. So that could bring up a lot of emotions. But you should have got mad and then had your comeback.
You
And
know,
your comeback shouldn't have been score up HO. It should have been a little
yeah.
bit stronger than that.
Well, it's the gaslighting tactic. It's like
Uh-huh.
that same thing that Mia is doing with the kids, right?
Mhm.
Like kind of, and I feel like Contessa is the same way. Like, oh, you gonna say that about my mama? My mama
Uh-huh.
who's dead? And
Yeah.
it's like, well, would
You
it matter if she
grasping.
was alive? Because
Yeah,
that's
grasping for straws.
in
Yeah.
my opinion, like my mama could be dead or alive. You still
Uh-huh.
finna get this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause you
Uh-huh.
don't say it at all.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not but you want to go in on the, well, she did, because so is Heavenly's mother. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
real.
And
So
they done talked about Heavenly's mama.
you're not talking to somebody who don't know how it feels to not have a mama, number one. Like,
Yeah.
you like, so to go and use that, because and you heard it, like, well, she's dead. And then let's talk about this mastectomy real quick. Like
Mm-hmm.
I told you, I felt like Dr. Contessa, and maybe this is okay, because I feel like maybe I'm in a place where I'm switching up stuff, and it might appear I might be trying to find myself too. So on
Mm-hmm.
one end, I'm not saying that her wanting to, like maybe see what her identity was outside of
Yeah.
mom, doctor, or whatever
Mm-hmm.
it is. But with the mastectomy, I felt that season that she gaslit everybody with that, and then she used that for a storyline. I'm
Yeah.
not trying to downplay the reason
Yeah.
why she
I
got
agree.
it, and none of that, because that's her stitch. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But it's like that doesn't change my mind that you kind of played that up way too
Yeah.
hard. You know what
Yeah.
I'm
I was very mad at her that season. Well, not mad, y'all. Not really
saying?
much.
I know,
But
right?
I was a little bit aggravated. Like, okay, so you cutting off your live tissue to put in some silicone. And I'm like, okay, but you a doctor, so you know your risk. You got your informed. You very informed with your decision. But it's like, why would you cut it off and then you stuffing yourself with a bunch of silicone? That don't make sense. But I was like, okay.
Well, if I remember correctly, I believe the doctor that she went to actually, like, she had the test done.
Yeah, she had
And
the trait or the
right, but
DNA.
I felt like they gave a percentage or something.
Mhm.
It was some other information that they gave.
Mhm.
So it wasn't recommended that she did what she did, because
Oh, okay.
whatever the percentage or
Uh huh.
something was, she wasn't there.
Uh huh.
She decided to do that on her own.
Mhm.
I remember her talking to Dr. Jackie about it.
Okay. Yeah,
But
because Dr. Jackie is in the breast cancer. Was it Dr. Jackie had breast cancer?
twice.
Yes, and she beat it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, and right, so she's went through it, but that's what Dr. Jackie was kind of saying. But here's the thing, like the position she put Dr. Jackie in that conversation again was it was her looking for some, like, she wanted the I guess comfort or to talk to somebody who had been through that. But then you talking to somebody who didn't have a choice. And here you are choosing, like you are literally choosing it because, and I feel like Dr. Jackie specifically said that, like the doctor told you, like they didn't recommend it. You kind of going above and beyond. We understand why you would take it that far, but again, that's why I think even on that season, after that happened, I don't think the ladies really paid her very much attention because I feel like they feel the same way I did. Like you kind of you created this issue.
Maybe that's a little trauma bond. Like maybe she did that to try to feel close to her mom in that situation, but that's a little bit too far.
Well, maybe she did it to try to get her husband to help her out around the house and take care of her.
That still ain't work. That still ain't work, child.
Then that's what I'm gonna go with. Like, I need a little help around here, so let me go. So I can be laid up for about 6
Or maybe she's trying to get that aesthetic, that look to please her man. Maybe he like big old watermelons.
Maybe well, I swear Dr. Contessa is working hard for a full-time position.
I agree 100%.
Right. We certainly agree. Hey, cutie pie. Say Dr. Contessa has a greater chance of getting cancer, right? Well, yeah, we know that too. I mean, yeah. And listen, I'm just saying my opinion, right? I'm not really trying to attack her choice.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion and the way that I view what was going on in that season. But I do get those facts. I get those facts. I just don't like for people, which that's what I think people don't really know what gaslighting is. Because to me, that's a form of gaslighting. Like to specifically hone in on something that directly counteracts if somebody would be against it. You know, like the whole thing would go back to, well, she has the trade and she, you know what I'm saying? Like, as opposed to us just really making the judgment about, but did she choose to do that on her own? Like, cause that's kind of the issue. Is not none of those facts that we know. It's like, just remember, the doctors did not recommend that for her. She made the decision to do that for herself, and which is her prerogative. But I do feel like that's manipulating people's feelings.
Correct. Is there any other things you want to talk about with Married to Medicine? Because these kids,
what you say? They are ready, honey. Yeah. Well, Quad. We got to talk about Quad, honey.
Okay, Miss Quad.
Miss Quad. Now, Miss Quad. I got this going back to the beginning at the table while the other ladies was out, I guess Heatherly and Jackie. And so they kind of like, okay, well, since we here, let's get out whatever else. And so Quad go back to the her being asked to leave the Napa trip and going to her theatrics and everything. For me, listen, Quad, even though I'm used to her being on Married to Medicine, and that's where she started and everything. I just feel like personally, Quad was not upset as much about those ladies like asking her. I mean, she was upset about them asking her to leave because it was embarrassing. But I think she was more so concerned about whether she was going to have a job, right? That was pretty much a way for you to feel like you wasn't going to be asked back because. And here's the other part about Quad being the person. You let them. You joined them when it was Mariah. Like the one about when we saw them do that to Mariah, I always remembered, like, everybody should have it in their mind that if they did it to one, it's only going to be a matter of time before they get together and out another one, you know. And so with with Quad, I feel like that's it. But here's the most important thing. Quad don't hang with them girls. And I do think that that is what the issue really truly is. And I
Yeah.
do, so for that, with that being said, she had the boyfriend. I know that they're going to incorporate him with the guys next week, all of those things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see Quad back again. I
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm making that flat
Okay.
decision because even this weekend, she on Yandy's post in Ghana. Like
Mm-hmm.
you never see her outside of the show with
Mm-hmm.
any of the girls. Not
Mm-hmm.
Simone, not Heavenly, not
Mm-hmm.
none of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Married to Medicine, if anything, should like protect the integrity of what the show like the
Originated. Yeah.
yeah, it's that they did have um real personal relationships between them.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Outside of what the housewives do. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they literally do have those relationships. And that's what I feel like what makes it good for us to watch.
Yeah.
Outside of the dramas that they have. But we
Yeah.
know that these ladies like how like going back to that reunion with Cecil and Simone getting ready to get divorced and they all came together like
Yeah.
and
That was beautiful.
literally got
Yeah.
them to call the divorce off. That
Yeah.
couldn't happen with a group of strangers that just got
Yeah.
put together, like
Yeah.
to come and film this show. That was because they have those ties to each other. And so look, she said quiet fake tears. That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, when it comes to Quad, it is it like I'm a toya with this. Like I wish everybody would be honest with her about it, and
Yeah.
stop.
They do baby her. They baby her. They scared of
Mm-hmm,
hard.
mm-hmm. And I get it because they feel like they hurt her feelings in the beginning, like so
Yeah.
again
Yeah,
with
because they was hazing her in the beginning because she was a
mm-hmm,
doctor wife, less money and less
mm-hmm.
established. Yeah.
Yeah, but that was all. I'm gonna stay on for a little while. Can
Okay.
you go or do I
Okay.
have to do another one?
I think I could. I'm gonna see if I could just leave and I'll join you in the comments after I get them
Yeah,
situated.
yeah. That's
All
cool.
right, bye guys, bye honeys. Make sure you like
Bye.
and subscribe to both of our channels. It was so much fun. I hope we could do this again. I'm sorry, so please forgive me for me and the ghetto ness of having
Girl,
4
it's all right.
kids.
We just starting. It's gonna get better. Like,
Okay,
and this
okay.
getting this we talking about, it's okay. Like,
All right, bye guys.
I'm staying on, honey, because I still got more to get out. Okay. Um, that's what I'm saying. She was upset about that check. That's how I felt. Like you wasn't so upset that they iced you out the way that they did. You was upset that looked like you was about to be fired from your job. And here's the other part about that job. Where else you finna get a job and get paid that type of money? You the one that got that big old house and you've been telling everybody how you did it by yourself. Yeah, you're not finna get no job like that and to be able to pay for that stuff on your own, unless you stay on there. But I feel like it's time for her to go. Because she's not friends with those girls. And so she's friends with the younger ladies. And maybe that is more her speed because they more closer to her age. They doing, I guess, more of the things that she does. Makes sense to me, but it doesn't make sense that you want to film for 6 months with a set of people that you won't talk to until it's time to film again. Just say they always treated Quad like she didn't belong, so they don't think they ever planned to be a real. Okay, well, you know what? I think something shifted. What shifted was, which is why Quad needed to have her eyes open. What shifted was when they turned on Mariah. When they turned on Mariah, the way for them to get to Mariah was to befriend Quad because Quad and Mariah was into it. So that's what I mean. Like what's the saying? A dog that'll carry a bone or a dog that'll bring a bone will carry a bone. It's that same thing. It like if you watch them, band together and X her out, and then they came and brought you in, like, and you knew all of this time they hadn't been paying you no attention. Like you said, they've been treating you crazy, but she needed to get in, and so she took it. And so like you say, once that is achieved, yeah, it's your turn next, and Heavenly, that's why Heavenly is keeping Quad around. Like, let's just keep it real. Heavenly keeping Quad around because if they out Quad, it is going to be Heavenly next. Because don't none of them, no matter how much they know that your mama is her go-to, don't none of them like it. Because your mama me one good time, and now we all in jail. You know what I mean? Like, that's why, that's for me why I don't let people play with me like that. Ever. Like that, that's not a joke. It's not joking words. You say it to me, we getting into an argument for real. Because I'm like Dr. Heavenly. I ain't no fighter, okay? In my Dr. Heavenly voice. I ain't no fighter either. But it's certain stuff you can't say to me, and I don't play about it. And that's one of them. And I don't ever want somebody to be thinking that they playing, and then one day it hit me the wrong way, and all of a sudden you looking at me like, well, what happened? Like, no. So don't say it at all. I'm the same. I'm that way about a few things. Say I agree with you. I think all reality shows based on friend groups, right, should consist of some real relationships. Just putting a group of people together for a show, calling them friends, is not it. That is correct. That is correct. And that's generally what the Housewives, what that formula is for the housewives, like, so Real Housewives of this, that. The formula generally is, well, let's get this group of affluent people. Now, you might suggest somebody that you know, doesn't necessarily mean that y'all friends. But Married to Medicine was put to them a little differently. Like Simone and Jackie, they were friends with each other before the show. Mariah and Quad, they were friends with each other. Sweet Tea definitely doesn't fit in. We didn't even get down to her. Give me 1 second. Everyone's old days, when you're growing up, you get into an argument and you be like your mama, I like Dr. Heavenly. Dr. Contessa is taking it too far. Okay. But see, that's my point. That's what I was saying about the Yo Mama. I feel like people let Dr. Heavenly get away with it because they like her. Most of us, I know I don't care for Contessa very much. Like just on that show. But I do think those ladies, they don't really care for her all that much either. And that's the reason why they don't speak up for her. They don't take up for her. That's the reason why the only time she gets somebody to agree with her is when she's having a private conversation with them. They don't come and agree with her in the span of the whole group. And that's because they don't like her. They like Heavenly better than her. You say Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea can go, yeah. Sweet Tea can go. Now, here's the thing about Sweet Tea. Funny enough, Sweet Tea is quiet when she first came in. The only thing different between Sweet Tea and Quiet, in the sense of the polished part, Quiet talked a little more proper, than what Tea talks. It sounds like, I think I sound a little more like Tea. And so I think that's the difference between them. But now that she's coming into this group and all of the other ladies are established, right? And even established as characters on the show, I feel like that's more of the reason why Sweet Tea doesn't fit in, is because these ladies, they're already established. The aesthetic is already there. When it was Quad and the rest of them, like without her not being a doctor and this and that, like I said, Quad spoke a little more proper, so she was able to what you say, like, fit in. T is too young. She definitely is too young. And she really is determined to be different from them. And so she doesn't get it. Right, right. I get that. Trying to compete with Quad. And that's what I'm saying. She's determined to, kind of stay in her, like, well, I'm young and I'm this. And it's like, well, either you want to be these ladies' friends or you don't, So I think that's what she needs to figure out. Because if she don't want to be their friends, and if she is gonna give them digs about their age and this and that, then she does need to get off. Qua was the same way when she came on the show. I agree. That's pretty much what I'm saying, is that Sweet Tea is not as polished. And like we see some upgrades in her styling and stuff. I think a lot of first seasoners go through that. But also when it comes to Sweet Tea is a little green. It's like what we like to call that, green, which means she is not aware of being on TV and what that projection would do. She is just so green that she is just being herself, and it doesn't fit in with the ladies. So like the difference going, like, let me scoot over to Real Housewives of Potomac real quick. Stacey is green too, right? But Stacey is polished and green. So like she's green with, like, she's not used to this reality TV environment, but she's used to being on TV. She's used to, being in public and being seen and noticed. So she knows how to present herself. Sweet Tea doesn't know any of that. Sweet Tea is still shopping at Ross. I agree. I believe that she was very guarded. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. I wish she would stop taking shots at the other women's ages. That's something that she needs to think about. But what she, and here's, not for nothing, stop taking shots at the women's ages when you have your own issues going on with fertility and different things like that. Maybe it ain't got nothing to do with your age, but your youth surely is not helping you out in this, right? So maybe you don't need to say anything about it. People don't realize that those are the things that put you in the places that you are. You know what I mean? Like, you're having issues. So for you to be such a young spring chicken, we can't tell. Not even being mean, but look, now I sound like Dr. Heavenly. Like what? Like, but that's all I'm saying is we can't tell, because how is it that you this spring chicken, and like, show us, honey, because it looked like Toya is blowing you out the water as a spring chicken, honey. She seemed to be the last person that was in a position of giving birth on the show before Sweet Tea. So that's why Sweet Tea probably want to leave the women's ages out of it. Because how can you imagine how embarrassing that could be, that you making fun of somebody's age and that lady pop up pregnant before you? Could you imagine that? How embarrassing, right? Stacey does seem to be naive, and so that's what we mean in that sense. Hey, honey, that's what we mean in that sense about being green, because like it's just fresh, your nose open. You in this new place and new things, and right, you don't know what's going on. And of course, she seemed naive about TJ, but a lot of sometimes when you can see somebody in that place being naive, it's refreshing. We get tired of seeing somebody come on the show and they immediately, you can see them plotting and and poking and planning, for something that they don't even know is coming, because this is their first time, on the show. Well, yeah, I feel like it's par for the course when it comes to Sweet Tea. I feel like it's par for the course when it comes to Sweet Tea. Sweet Tea came in and she like her very first scene, let me think. was it the same? I just remember them being at the bachelor party or bridal shower, I think it was. And the lady was kind of asking her, like, what does she like about being engaged? And her answer was like, I get a little access to the money. I think that she thought that some of those things she was saying was going to go over well. And again, this goes back to her not even paying attention to the group that she was in, because her friends back at home, she could probably tell them that and they laugh, high five her, like, yeah, girl, we know, you know what I'm saying? But you're talking to a bunch of doctors, and you know what I'm saying? And so it's kind of like, wait a minute, huh? Because at the end of the day, anybody who knows that they out maybe getting somebody that might not be on the same level is really going to be cautious about why you there. So when you put that stuff out and now you get upset that anybody would call you a gold digger, well, I feel like those are things that gold diggers say. So that's why you keep that with your group of friends who know you, who maybe don't look at you like a gold digger and won't think that about you. You don't stay in front of a group of strangers who are at the hoedown, right? Yes. Like who you just met and who is more friendly with your husband to be than they are with you. Exactly. See, you got it. Let's just say her first scene was her saying she got access to the money. That's exactly what I was saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. So she came in this green manner that she didn't pay attention. She didn't read the room. She didn't, she's not polished. That's all. And that's what I feel like I made that statement on Instagram last year when she came in and everybody was kind of asking. And that's what I mean by being polished. Being polished for me doesn't mean that you have a certain amount of finances or, like you rich and whatever, or you're in a certain tax bracket. Being polished for me means that you can go in any room and perform, right? So if you go to the state dinner at the White House, you can go in there and you can have proper conversations at that table with the people that's sitting there, no matter who they are, whether you know them not. They could be the senator, they can be the governor. You can have appropriate conversations with them. Or you could go down to the $2 hole in the wall where they playing the jukebox, honey, and you can get it in with them too. That, for me, that's a part of being, and maybe that's the wrong word. Maybe it's another word that describes that better. But that's what I mean by she's not polished enough. She doesn't know how to come in the room and just kind of read the room, get in where you fit in. And it's not about acting like you somebody else, because you still can be yourself. It's just knowing which rooms to bring what to, right? Some rooms you leave some stuff out. Some rooms you bring it in. She don't know that yet. It's the way you carry yourself. Absolutely. Yes. That is 1000%. Let's think. What else happened on this show? Let me go to some notes really quick. Let's go. Let's see what else happened. Because listen, I know I wanted to get that choir situation off my man. Because that's what I took away from it. Okay, so the guys, while the girls was at the Dude Ranch, the guys had they met up separately. Let's see who, Dr. Scott and Eugene. No, Dr. Scott, Cecil, and Dr. G. They went ATV, which I guess perfect. As far as Cecil and Dr. G are close, he was saying they go golfing every weekend. So it makes sense why he was there. Because I was about to say, funny enough, that the guys kind of branched off and seemed to be in the same type of group that the ladies was in. We didn't see Dr. Jackie's husband, honey. Now I'm the only one, and not that I'm looking for anything to happen, but I am the only one that starts to notice when he's not around. Cause I'm thinking like, Dr. Jackie, is he somewhere he ain't supposed to be? But it's none of my business because that man is not my husband. So as long as she know where he is, we're gonna leave it be. And then Eugene meets with Damon. And they have a conversation about Dr. G, about Dr. G possibly feeling a little bit dismissed. I do think that Dr. Damon did dismiss Dr. G. But here's the thing. I think Dr. Damon does not want to deal with any of the things that's coming out of these women's mouths at all. I think that's his take on it. Let's see. But I feel like he didn't realize that he probably did very much dismiss Dr. G and dismiss Dr. G's feelings. I don't think Dr. G was wrong for bringing what he had to say to Damon because he's right. See, the thing that Dr. Damon is missing and why it's going to be one or two things. So I think I did make this statement. I don't know if I made it on our live last week or on one of my personal lives. So make sure y'all subscribe and like in both of our channels, okay? So that you can be notified because we're going to go live every Monday at 2 p.m. We might do some other lives, but that's why you want to be subscribed and you want to hit that notification button, right? So we can notify you when we decide to go live impromptu. But back to what I was saying, this is what Dr. Damon is not going to realize. Oh, what I said in the live was that I do think that Dr. Heavenly, it is quite possible that she may be on her way out. And the reason why is I do believe Dr. Damon is finding himself a little too engulfed in the mess and in this whole thing. And I don't think he likes it a lot. Kind of what we just said, we spoke about Keanu's fiance Greg. He's given that he doesn't want to film. I think he did very much say that. And even though we see him showing up, I think everything will be fine until you dragging me into the bull. And it seems that this has happened to Damon. At this point, I think it's 3 times. And I don't think Damon is the type of person that stick around very long for something that he don't want to be bothered with. I don't get those teas from him. And I do think that Dr. Heavenly is the submissive wife she presents herself to be. So I think that if Dr. Damon says it's time to go, that she's gonna go ahead and leave the show. And I feel like that's coming up for her. Because I don't think Dr. Damon likes to be in these conversations that he's in. But like I say, what the difference that Dr. Damon doesn't realize is your wife can't be going off, popping off at the mouth, and then saying things about other people's husbands. Because once that happens, you surely don't want the husband to pop up, in it and be talking mess about your wife, about your wife, anything like that. Because then that's going to get him in the middle of it. So we'll see how the rest of this season kind of pans out between Heavenly and Damon and the things that are being said about them. We already heard got Dr. Contessa kind of throw off this off balanced comment about Damon. Oh, I'm not worried about any mixed children out there like you with the last name of Kimes, that could have been one of her sons, or she could just be talking outside of her neck. Either way it go, I don't think Damon would be very happy about it. And I feel like if it continues to go that way, Damon is out. Damon is not for the games, and he's not gonna be bothered with it. So let's see what else we talk about. Let's see. I want to say. Oh, did that happen or was that honey, I don't even want to talk about Phaedra, honey. Now, what I do want to talk about, which subscribe to the channel, because y'all know Real Housewives of Atlanta is getting ready to come on. And I think it's next week. Let's see, January 16th, I think is the date for them to premiere. So, okay, next Thursday. Did they come on Thursdays? That don't sound right. It got to be the 19th. It got to be the 19th. They was on Sundays. I don't know. I'm gonna double check and see what day. They could not have changed the Housewives' whole schedule like that, did they? Wait, I'm looking it up already just to see if they got it. Cause I thought that they said the premiere date was, and maybe I just made it up, but I'm about to see, honey. I am about to see. Hmm, not that's coming up just yet. We'll see. Well, it can't. Okay, here's the thing. It can't be in the next week or so because we haven't seen any promotions for it. So maybe I did just make up that date of the 16th. I don't know what's going on January 16th, but something coming out. Right, that's what I'm saying. I ain't seen the trailer. Like now that I gotta go back and think about it. It's like, well, but they set to come back soon. They set to come back soon. So eventually, but I want to get into Portia, honey, and her all of her debauchery before we go right into Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because if I tell you the truth, she's the only reason why I'm coming back to watch them. I'm not looking forward to Phaedra. Speaking of Phaedra on Married to Medicine, we're gonna find out because her and Jackie meet. Jackie asked her to co-chair for the Met Gala, Mid Gala, on the second annual that they're gonna have. Phaedra let the lady text her 73 times and didn't answer back. This is my thing with Phaedra. Like Phaedra, and that's where Quad gets it from. Like Phaedra kind of, or Quad probably got that from Phaedra. Like this whole thing about like showing up and presenting yourself one way but not really being involved in anything. That's what Phaedra gives. So yeah, she accepted the assignment to be the co-chair of the Met Gala, but then you're not going to respond to none of the ladies' text messages when she's trying to text you and talk to you about it. Okay, then you try to call some random doctor who I love, Dr. Jackie, say, well, is he taking your calls? Exactly. Like, why are you calling somebody who is not even picking up? But we're gonna see, which I'm guessing through from the clip, it sounds like I heard Dr. Jackie say we do not have the money. So it sounds like Phaedra is not gonna come through. Hey, yeah, you back. Look, it sounds like Phaedra is not gonna come through with the donations. But I guess we're gonna have to wait till next week until we really find out and see. But I'm tired of the Phaedra. But I feel like Phaedra has that same fraudra. That's a good one. Yes, fraudra. Fraud, she is. Um, I feel like she has that same type of mentality that Quad does. It's like, I don't really need to have any, interpersonal relationships with these ladies. Like, it's just a job I'm showing up for. And I'm going to give them, I'm going to give them what they asked for, but it's not going to be true. You know what I mean? And listen, now this is what I'm not looking forward to as Phaedra turns this exit, because I'm wondering, I wonder, it's a way for us to find out. I'm wondering if Phaedra exits the show Married to Medicine after this Med Gala. It would seem to me that there could be an issue that's created, right? That Phaedra decides to remove herself from. Right? I don't know. I guess we are going, because it would be interesting to see where she stops with Married to Medicine, and then where she picks up, where she come in at on Atlanta after the Key West couple. Oh yeah. That's right. I forgot. See, I was trying to think of the trailer in my head to see like when it was I had stopped seeing her. But that's right, the couple trip. You're right. Because I forgot they somehow end up with Apollo and his wife on that trip. So I can, yeah, that makes sense that she would exit after that. Because somebody then went behind her back and got something done without asking her, you know. But this is what I'm not looking forward to her as she goes back over to Atlanta. I'm looking forward to watching her and Portia get back together without a full conversation about where we left them at. Now I know they not in Ghana. That was Quad that's in Ghana. They over in Lagos. Okay. I guess word around the curb is Portia got her a new man. And what I'm gonna say is one thing I'm gonna tell you about Portia, she ain't gonna make the same mistake twice, honey. What she decided after the trip, she left the show. Makes sense. What she decided is she ain't gonna get one over here that's pretending to be a citizen. She'll just go over there and get them from their home country, huh? I mean, whichever works, right? But I'm not. So whatever happened between them, they all good. Okay, they friendly. They back on trips together. But as far as the viewers go, I'm not interested in watching Phaedra come back on the show and act like that didn't happen. Like I'm not interested in seeing that from her. I'd much rather prefer her do another season of Traders because she actually was good on that show. And it's really because it fits her personality. Unfortunately, excuse me, guys. But yes, what else happened on? I feel like let me see. I feel like that was about all. On Married to Medicine. Let's see. Okay, well, we talked about Contessa, but talking about his avoidance personality is what Dr. Heavenly is referring to when she calls him abusive. And it's like, well, it's like a yes and a no because he's like, well, I don't like to argue. Well, it's like nobody said you didn't like to argue, but you clearly don't like to confront anything either. So that's a problem. And it is abusive for somebody to want to have a conversation with you and you avoiding it. But she may say Candy not there, so why I guess you know what? Is that so what do we think? What do we think, guys? Do we think that there is a way for Phaedra to wiggle her way out of answering that question, or even her and Portia? Because see, it's not for me. It's not the fact that she's not answering it for Candy. We want to hear the conversation between her and Portia, right? Like I would think that Portia would have something else that they would need to talk about on camera because all of that happened on camera. And now Phaedra already did insinuate. And I can't remember what was she on. It was one of these shows. It might have been Dubai. It's been in the last year or so, and it's been on one of these shows she'd have made her appearance on. But she did something in which it implied that somebody else was lying, like it was Portia. Um, so so I'm just kind of yeah, they need to have a conversation because they're the ones that were friends. Yeah, you're probably right. Say they're gonna let her go without addressing it. I hope not. I don't know. I hope not. That I guess it depends on the producers though. I guess it depends. It does now from what it looks like, it looked like they probably did. It looks like they were scrambling to get somebody else, and Phaedra was like right for the picking, available, and yeah, maybe they didn't care one way or the other. But I know for me, I kind of do. So I don't know. I'm gonna still watch the season though, because I'm gonna have to get on here and recap it. But I'm just letting y'all know, my expectations, are, I don't know where they are, because the last two seasons for me with Atlanta Housewives was just in the toilet. And I was really ready to put them on the chopping block for real, for real. Right. She made it seem like she heard it from somewhere else. And then, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was it on Traders or something? Because somebody asked her specifically. It was something real specific about it. Oh, and she said, well, not everything you see or hear or something is true. Again, she was implying that whatever, like their whole thing was made up. Like that Portia, the implication was that Portia made up that she had made it up. And that's like say, I'm gonna go back and watch Traders, because it had to be in the first couple episodes. Like I'm not even exaggerating that, because I thought to myself, that's strange. And again, it had to be Traders, because it had to be a show in which nobody would really ask another, like, a follow-up question about it. But yeah, so we'll see. I guess we got a little while before we're gonna find out. Married to Medicine, next week. I think they're gonna start. Are they having the Met Gala next week, or are they finishing up the planning for it? It looks like they was gonna have it. Um, and so I guess we'll see how that works out. I feel like this episode of Married to Medicine was kind of maybe fillerish, even though we came in with the even though we came in off the heels of Dr. Heavenly and Contessa having a back and forth, the kind of altercation. It felt very fillerish, because nothing real hard happened. Very important, I should say. Nothing really important happened in this episode. And I'm feeling like Married to Medicine needs to come on with it, because the Heavenly and Contessa thing, like, I'm already over that. We talked about that. I'm already over it. I don't think Contessa should have returned, if that's what her gripe was. As far as Sweet Tea goes, Sweet Tea needs to. Phaedra is a liar. You are right about that. Let's put that up. As far as Sweet Tea goes, Sweet Tea should probably be focused on her marriage, and not necessarily talking about the ladies or figuring out, like, if they got their bodies done. It's like, it's a lot of things. Let me just give Sweet Tea what she need real quick. As if Heavenly hasn't already given it to her. But Sweet Tea needs to focus on her marriage. She's newly married, so she needs to be, focused, like, tunnel vision on learning her husband, figuring out if they're going to be able to have a baby, and what that looks like. If it's going to be natural, if it's going to be IVF, whatever those things is. I feel like she has enough to focus on without wanting to get on YouTube and figure out a way to make gigs with the other ladies. I'm gonna go and look at one of her YouTubes too, just so I can see what she's saying. But I already know that it's that typical thing. You want, like I said, you want to attack the ladies about their age. You want to attack them about maybe how they dress, and if they got their bodies done. And when I look at Sweet Tea, like I told y'all, I don't think somebody, just because you're young, you should be digging in on anybody else's age, because the things that you should be able to do for being young doesn't sounds like you're having trouble with that. And so I think that you should be giving some grace to other ladies in that same regard, where it comes to discussing if these ladies have had their bodies done, or they did, and I don't have man done, this is all natural. Listen, I'm gonna tell it to you like this. Just because you don't have your body done doesn't mean having it done wouldn't help you out. doesn't mean that if you got in the gym, you could do a little bit better. Um, I gave Contessa a lot of shade for how she showed up at the photo shoot, right? I say she tried so hard, she always missed, right? Because she had on a whole leotard, and the theme was Cowboy Carter. Leotard and some stripper shoes, and so and you are out in the grass. It was so off course, right? Because Contessa tries very hard to just be her best. And I ain't mad at somebody trying their hardest to be their best, but it just be like, girl, you be missing the mark sometimes. And body is banging because it don't have nothing to do with her body. It's just she looked like she was going to a different photo shoot. And sometimes that matters, like when you're in a group of people, everybody should look like they going to the same place. Like somebody shouldn't look like they finna go to the moon and we on our way down, to Pier 50, 33 or whatever it is, right? You look like you finna go to the moon. So when it comes to Sweet Tea, that this is what I'm gonna say. Everybody showed up. Everybody looked good. Everybody, all the pictures came together. But as far as the outfits go, Sweet Tea didn't feel her outfit out the best. And so I don't think she should make any comments about other people and their bodies. I don't like, I'm not being mean like Dr. Heavenly, but I'm just saying, like, yeah, and we know that Sweet Tea probably has some type of insecurities about something on her body. Like, well, we saw it last year when Phaedra told her about having a pancake booty, and she do. But here's the thing: don't talk about other women's bodies. Simple as that, because yeah, you're young and some of those old ladies looking a little better than you. So young ain't everything. That's what, like, the age frame, that ain't everything. Well, she probably on her way, I feel like, so like we saying, first season, you nose open, you fresh, you don't really know it. You and Dr. Greg just got together. So he might let you have a little access to the coin purse, but it's probably got some restrictions. So as you kind of get a little further, you might get a little more access to different things. And so eventually it's probably going to be, yeah, well, let's let her have a baby first, right? Here's what I think would be a great arrangement. Let her have a baby first, and then she can get a mommy makeover. That's easy, right? Everybody get what they want. But I'm also saying that you shouldn't be talking about these women's bodies in the meantime. Like, that's kind of my point. Yeah. So I'm gonna get out of here myself, guys. Again, make sure you are subscribed to my channel. You subscribe to Housewives from a Housewife. Okay, so we're gonna come at you every Monday at 2:00. Hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we upload videos. And be sure to like this video, share with your friends. I had a good time with y'all yet again. Yay! Housewives from a Housewife. It's a collab, honey. Yes, we're going to get on here every week. And we might get on every so often during the middle of the week. That's why you need to be subscribed. And you need to hit that bell notification so that you can be notified, okay? Because we might decide, hey, let's get on again. I am doing a live tonight. I might have to push it back. I think I got it scheduled for 6. I realized it was going to be 4, almost 4 o'clock when I got off here, right? But oh, no. I got it scheduled for 8. So, no, 8 o'clock tonight. 8 o'clock tonight, we are discussing Real Housewives of Atlanta. And mainly Portia Williams specifically, because I got a whole lot been wanting to say about her and that Simon Gobadia and this whole situation. So, in preparation of us leading up to watching Real Housewives, the season 16 premiere, I guess maybe I don't know. I ain't seen no date yet. And now I'm thinking somehow March or something is in my head because there had been a time frame they was coming on. So, and then I'm thinking about, because Sunday is their night. I know doggone well they're not going to change them and put them on a Thursday when they've been on Sunday. So they have to be coming on in between when one of the Married to Medicine or Potomac ends. It's got to be one of them. Thank you. I appreciate you, boo. I appreciate you. So yeah, let's get on. We're gonna get back on 8 o'clock. We're discussing all of the Real Housewives of Atlanta T and Portia Williams. You know, of course, they got her with another man, honey, from Legos. I wonder what Simon doing. He probably sitting over in Dubai, man, or some other country. They was able to let him in because you know he can't come back to the U.S. Which is what he needs to be focused on instead of focusing on the stuff he is with her. I do have to agree with that. But we're gonna talk about how Portia go just rack them up, Gummy. Rack them up. The one thing I give her, she don't make that same mistake twice. That's all. As a female, that's all we can do. These men gonna do what they want. They gonna be men sometimes. What we can't do is make the same mistake again. Okay. So with that being said, I'm gonna get up out of here, y'all. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you guys so much. And we'll see you later on, 8 o'clock tonight, okay?